Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good
So
afternoon,
we
ma'am.
have two people,
Good afternoon,
Anubhishnu
ma'am.
and Vedant, who are with their videos on. What's happening to the others? Now Hemant has also come.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
So
ma'am.
what I've been doing before I start talking to you is all giving permissions to people, and I do not know why they need to have admission or permission every time they come. So there's somebody called Girish Kumar in this group. Girish
Yes, ma'am.
Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Girish, you are in my class. Why do you have a CLC address? And why do you need permission every time you come?
Ma'am, my email ID is only CLC, but I enrolled in first year in LC1 only.
Acha, no, but why do you need permission? You are in a class regular. So what is you are not doing right for you to need permission?
Ma'am, I am attending your class regularly, and actually, the new list for roll number of all the ex-student, ma'am. Yesterday it come out from office, and
No,
yesterday
that
we got
doesn't
our new
matter.
roll number.
That doesn't matter. I can see you are registered in my class. So why is it that you need permission to come? Because so many others have joined without needing a permission. Why did you need permission?
I don't know, ma'am, what is the technical issue
Are
this one
you
is.
are you using the same email where you registered, or you are using a different email?
No, same email, ma'am.
I do not know why you received the invitation for joining this meet.
That I do not receive, ma'am, but I
That is
received
why.
the
That is why.
notification.
No. That is why, because I send an invite to everybody who was enrolled by that particular time. So Vivek, Vivek and Vedant, I think you need to unmute. Lot of noise. Please unmute if you are not speaking.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So no, it makes everybody's life easier, because otherwise different sounds keep on coming. So I did have to admit a few people, and I am kind of wondering that if they are already involved with me, they should not need a permission. So then they should write to me saying that they haven't got the invite for the meet. So then I'll send you the invite, and then you'll be able to join. All right. Did you notice your conversations in the last 2 days beyond the classroom? Has somebody asked you a question, or have you asked anybody a question? And what kind of question was it? Did you ask open-ended question? Did you ask close-ended questions? What kind of question did you ask? What kind of people asked you the questions about? Anyone who can remember? You ask a question to somebody outside the class, or somebody asked you a question outside the class. Did your family member ask you anything?
Ma'am, mostly close-ended.
नहीं, सवाल बताओ. ये तो आपका फिर डिसीजन है, हम बताएंगे सही बताया कि नहीं बताया.
मैम वही खाना खाना नहीं खाना यही सब मैम क्लोज-एंड क्वेश्चन.
हाँ, खाना खाना है नहीं खाना है, खाना खाना है नहीं खाना है, क्लोज एंडेड है कि गाइडेड है?
मैम क्लोज-एंडेड यस और नो में जवाब देना है. यस
यस और
अगर
नो में
खाना है.
ज्यादातर हमेशा नहीं, पर ज्यादातर यस और नो का जवाब गाइडेड में होता है.
ओके.
ज्यादातर.
Ma'am, I asked the guided question
क्या पूछा?
for my ma'am regarding his future business plans. So my friend has to start a new business plan.
हाँ.
So I asked him about like how will you go, how will you start it, and
हाउ विल यू
so
स्टार्ट इट? कैसे? ना ये गाइडेड कैसे हुआ? हाउ इज इट अ गाइडेड क्वेश्चन?
ma'am, because I knew what business he is planning, so I was asking about it that
नहीं अंकित, इफ यू आस्क हिम तुम अपना पैसा लगाओगे, देन इट्स अ गाइडेड क्वेश्चन. नए
yes
बिजनेस
ma'am.
में अपना पैसा लगाओगे इज अ गाइडेड क्वेश्चन, पर अपना बिजनेस कैसे करोगे इट्स नॉट अ गाइडेड क्वेश्चन.
Oh,
सप्लाई तो जवाब तो दे नहीं रहे हो ना, आप तो सवाल ही पूछ रहे हो. जब तक आप जवाब दिया उसमें ही निहित है आपके सवाल में, तब तक वो गाइडेड नहीं है. आपके आपके
okay.
फादर पैसा लगाएंगे, आप अपना पैसा लगाओगे, बैंक से लोन लोगे, दीज आर ऑल गाइडेड. टेक्नोलॉजी आपके जैसे आपको टेक्नोलॉजी पता है, अगर आपने ई बिजनेस शुरू करना है So there you are giving the information. But if you are saying कि कैसे करोगे business, तो हम तो open नहीं बता रहे का एरिया फोकस जरूर है कि हम बिजनेस की बात कर रहे हैं. तो जब हम कहते हैं क्लास में कि आप इंट्रोड्यूस करो, तो नेचुरली इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में तो हम क्लास में इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं. मगर वो किस क्या क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन देगा वो ओपन है. So anybody else want to try and say what question did you ask and what do you think was the nature of question?
Ma'am, I respond. Yeah, Lokesh, you can proceed.
Yeah, Lokesh.
Ma'am, a common question, how are you?
हाँ जी.
How are
जी.
Ma'am, close-ended question, how are you?
Open-ended नहीं है ये.
Ma'am, I think close-ended means only you have to tell about how are you.
तबीयत ही बता दी है. तो अगर मैं ये बताना शुरू कर रहे बड़ी तबीयत खराब चल रही है, अभी तो ये हो गया और तो वो हो गया और उसमें दवाई खाई उनको फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा, तो वो सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन हम 50 देना चाहें कि मुझे पहले भी हुआ था ये बात, अब फिर से हो गई और आजकल कोरोना चल रहा है तो बहुत मुश्किल हो रही है. तो हाउ आर यू, तो वैसे सर नहीं, नो, इट्स इन दैट सेंस इट्स अ फोकस्ड क्वेश्चन. बट यूजुअली व्हेन यू आर डिगिंग आउट मोर डिटेल्स अबाउट समथिंग and you are expecting a specific answer. अगर हम ये पूछे ठीक ठाक हो, what is the nature of that question? Are you all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, nature of question क्या है? So ठीक, अच्छी बात है.
Guided question, ma'am.
हाँ, guided है. Anukriti, you were saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, answer.
Okay, Lokesh is speaking something.
Ma'am, answer would be yes or no. So guided question.
अक्सर, not always. Not always. 100% नहीं है, पर 99% वही होता है.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, the question I remember is that somebody asked me what are the best books that you have read so far. So I responded to that question, and according to me, that question is a close-ended question because it's just concerned to the books that I have read, and I have to name a few books that I like.
Close-ended.
Yeah. And other than that, I was also about to say that how are you is a very generic question. So according to me, it's an open-ended question because it can be answered in so many ways. So
but how many ways can you answer this question?
Ma'am, how are you? I can talk about my feelings and I can go on and on about it. Ki I have been feeling good and this is why I have been feeling good. So it is a very abstract question. So I think that there are a lot of ways somebody can answer that depending upon how that person is feeling about that point in time. Does the person wants to be elaborative or just the person wants to answer, I am fine.
In fact, most of the time when somebody says, how are you? We expect, okay, I'm fine. We do not expect a history.
Yes.
And sometimes people may come up with history, but actually it's, in that sense, it's expected to be close-ended, but people can take it as an open-ended also.
Ma'am, so I had a doubt in this regard also. So when we say that there are a lot of questions which are overlapping in nature, like this question, for example, so we do not have to place them in watertight compartments, right? So it's
certainly the open-ended and close-ended need not be so astutely known, but you certainly need to distinguish a guided question. But the guided question, you cannot ask a guided question in an examination in chief. So that you certainly need to know. Other questions you ask open-ended, close-ended is a question of your strategy of how you want to gather the information. But the other side can raise an objection if you ask a guided question. The judge can also say, no, you cannot ask this. So that is certainly a very important distinction we need to know, that in cross-examination, in examination in chief, in cross you can ask any kind of question, but the advice of the practicing lawyers is, and the literature we have on this subject is, that in cross you should always ask only guided questions, and you should never ask an open-ended question. Because the moment you ask an open-ended question, the witness can actually reiterate whatever they have said in their examination in chief. So therefore, you will be weakening your case. So this whole distinction is very important when it comes to the actual courtroom practice. Vedant, please unmute. Mute, not unmute. Yeah. So it is very important to understand. That's what we're doing. You know, we're spending so much time to understand, because when we will come to a practice in there, we will be back again. That you will say, no, 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 no. Ask in the exam, in the cross, at the practice session, in the cross, we will say, please ask guided question. So what I'm going to do is share with you a short slide, there's short slides on this one, taken from our case material only. How many of you have read the chart, the chart we have with 3 tables?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes?
Ma'am, why is it that we have to ask guided questions only in examination in chief? Like, why cannot we prefer
Because
open-ended or closed?
we want to limit the area of information which the client, which the witness will give, because when we're doing cross, we are cross-examining the witness on the other side. So prosecution has suppose presented an eyewitness, and I want to say that he is actually suffering from dementia, or he cannot see very clearly. So if I say, what did you see? He'll say the same thing again. So then I can put it to him certain things. Oh, you saw a bird also there. You saw such and such person also there. He'll say, no, 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 I didn't see a bird. I did not see another person. But, or I might say, oh, you were actually present with your friend's house at that point of time when you're claiming that you were an eyewitness. We'll say, no, I was not the friend's place. I was here. But then if my case story, and we'll come to that, what do you mean by case story? My basic story is that, Vedant, please unmute. So if my case story is that the story of the prosecution is wrong, they have only created certain false witnesses, and we can break the witnesses. So then in cross-examination, we can put certain suggestions, add our own evidence. Or we might get somebody who is saying that, no, this person was with me, and then connect the two things. That, look, this person had denied, but this person is saying, yes, he was there. So in order to counter, so if we can limit the scope of the witnesses' statements to yes and no, and bring forward what is our case theory for the matter. So for example, when I said, no, you are hit on the red light. So we have lots of case theories there as to why was I hit. Then I do investigation. So he says, no, no, I was not negligent. So I will say, and my theory is that he was negligent because he was in a hurry. He had a very important meeting and he was already late. So therefore he was rushing. Suppose that is my theory. So I will ask him, if I say, were you not in a hurry? He says, no, 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 I was not in a hurry. That doesn't make our case any forward. But if I say, you had an important meeting that day. He said, yes. Your meeting was with the vice president of your company. Yes. The meeting was at 9 o'clock. Yes. You were at 8:45 at the juncture where you hit my car. Yes. The distance from there to there would have taken you about half an hour to reach. No, you would have reached at 9 o'clock. So if I'm guiding, I'm bringing out my theory in the examination. But if I keep asking open-ended, close-ended questions, he will give the answers he wants to give. We do not want him to do that. We want them to say yes or no to what we think actually happened. And this is the law also, that no, the law is only about the examination chief. The examination chief, you can't ask a guided question. Look at the Evidence Act. I don't remember what is the section number. Check that out. So certainly in examination chief, there is a ban. In cross-examination, there is no ban. But prudence, experience of lawyers have said that if you ask, if he says, why did you do it? You're asking him an explanation which will go in his favor. So we say never ever ask a question why in cross-examination. So these are all coming from the experience of people who are doing the practice. So they have written about the rules, what they have found works better. So, okay, shall we look at the pluses and minuses in a slightly more systematic slide?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, Mumal?
Ma'am, can you please explain to us the difference between closed-ended and guided questions once again? Because
Guided question is also known as leading question. You know, you're leading the person to say yes or no. So when you say close-ended, we are not supplying the answer. So suppose I say, your name is Mumal.
Yes.
So this is a guided question. This is a leading question. I am giving you the answer and you have to say yes or no. Is your name Anukriti?
No.
Yeah, so both of them are. If I say you are a student in the final year,
Yes.
you are not in section B.
No.
These are all leading questions, guided questions. But if I was to say, suppose I am aware, not suppose, I know that you have done a gender justice course. So if I ask you, how frequently your classes were held in gender justice course?
Okay.
So give me an answer.
Oh, they happened as per the timetable schedule.
So here I'm asking you a question. I'm not asking you to tell me your experience in gender justice class. That's open-ended. If I say how frequently were the classes held, then it's a close-ended question.
Okay.
समझ आया?
But ma'am, I think this question also is sort of guiding you in a certain direction. I thought close-ended questions are the...
No, I am, because now I am dealing in the details. Suppose my first question was, so how was your experience in that class? You said, oh, classes were held, we had this kind of discussion, whatever. Now you kind of go around with this many students, our timetable was good, bad, whatever. No, you can say whatever you want to say. It is about the course, but the whole field of the course is open for you to say in terms of experience. But then I narrow down. I said, now tell me about this aspect. So you said, yeah, we attended classes. So then I want to know whether the classes happened on a regular timetable, whether they happened as per within the time limits. So I'm now further building the details. What we call it, that we first, usually in an open-ended question, you get the basic field of information. Then if you want to build up details about any one aspect of that field, then you will ask close-ended questions.
Ma'am, I got confused regarding the question of books that Anukriti put up. For example, the way I understood it, if I ask someone that what are your thoughts on reading, now that is an open-ended question for me. Then I think there was this question which was what are your favorite books so far? So I think that was a guided question. And if I ask
No. What are your favorite books? Am I saying, oh, is Premchand, Munshi Premchand's Godan is your favorite book? Then it's a guided question. There is a, what are your favorite books? You can tell me Munshi Premchand, or you can say any blight or not. You can say anything. But you will only tell me about books. You will not tell me about, let's say, magazines, for example. But if I give you the name of the book, do you like that book? Then it's leading.
Okay.
But then you're not saying that, oh, no. So are you reading Munshi Premchand these days? Yeah, I'm not saying, if I say, what books are you reading these days? And are you reading XYZ's novel? There's a difference in the two questions. The first question, what books are you reading, or what books have you read during lockdown, is close-ended. How did you find those books? It's again open. But are you reading such and such book? Have you read such and such book? That's leading.
Ask if did you read any fictional novels during the lockdown? Is that a guided question now?
It is, because you will say yes or no to that one. So though you said no, or you said yes, I said, well, which fiction did you read? Then it becomes close-ended.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So there are pluses and minuses of every kind of question. Just general conversation. Not we're talking only quotes. Quotes certainly will come to. But in our journal day-to-day life, every kind of question will have its own benefits and its limitations. And therefore, in all conversations, you cannot stick to only one kind of question. You will have to have a mix of them. So the skill is to know which kind of question to ask when. We're not saying in your day-to-day conversation with your clients, with your family, etc., you will ask only Vedant, at your end, there's a lot of noise if you do not
Ma'am,
mute yourself.
I have a question.
Again, in your system, there is a problem. Because when you mute yourself, I don't hear any noise, but when you are unmuted, I see noise.
Let me join again.
No, don't. Just mute yourself, nothing more.
Ma'am, I have a question actually.
Okay, ask.
Ma'am, as Anukriti asked a question that someone asked her, what all books have you been reading? So, ma'am,
Yeah.
can we consider this question as an open-ended question? Because the person has asked, I think this question can be treated in a generic manner, like what all books have you been reading, and the person is not asking particularly about a genre,
No,
about which genre is
Vedant. It's all a question of context. Suppose what have you been reading? Then whether you're reading fiction, you're reading books, you're reading magazine, you're not reading anything is possible. But I say, what books have you been reading? Then we are still focusing only on books. So certainly in the context, it may seem like because there's no absolute rules as such to say, okay, this exactly is this kind of question. But there are more varieties of questions also. We may have, this you did in your grammar classes, that you may have a simple question. What we classify in a grammar as simple question, not in terms of answer. Simple question is that there is only one subject matter involved. But complex question, maybe you might have two subject matters. So there may be two different answers. So do I like the subjects, criminal law, family law, gender justice, clinical education, equal, so like this. So I might like one, I may not like it. You like mangoes and bananas. You may like mango, you may not like bananas, or vice versa. But we are expecting only yes and no. It's not going to work. It's a complex question because there are two components involved. So there are more varieties, but broadly speaking, and in our conversations in examination and cross-examination, we will say, ask simple questions, because simple questions can be understood easily and answers can be given. If you ask very convoluted, very difficult question, the witness will only get confused and would not know what to say either on your side or on the other side. So we'll keep on working on this aspect. So can we now go to the PowerPoint? Window. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's do okay, I think we need to start from the beginning. So open-ended questions, the basic understanding is that they leave the person free to provide broad range of information on that subject. So, but it still is, of course, the subject is there because you're asking them about something, but it is a broad range there. The advantages of that one, and you have experienced this, that the client or the person responding select the responses from their frame of reference and relevance. What they think is relevant, what they think is important, they will answer your question accordingly. It will allow them to decide, because they are talking about themselves, something they remember, something they know. So it's a free recall without interruptions from the question, because when suppose we took the example yesterday that the client has come for seeking divorce. So that's the broad category. And now the lawyer's agenda is to find out whether any of the clauses of section 13 are made out or not. So you want to jump there. But he has a different, he wants to first tell you the whole story. So therefore, when we're asking, ordinarily, when we ask an open-ended questions, it may not be as per your agenda, because you want a very specific information. So if you do that, if you want that, then you will have to ask a close-ended question. But certainly, this is the stage where the person can freely recall what they think are the details of the information they are sharing. The clients can and do tell information which lawyer may have never thought of asking. And sometimes we assume. So for example, when we had this, the first one I said to Mayank, I think said, I want to do the conversation. And I said, identify someone you do not know. And he still identified a friend. So that was the decision making which the client was making, irrespective of what the lawyer was asking. If we were to change our roles to say that, no, you were the client and I was the lawyer, I was asking you certain information, but you decided to give the information according to your understanding. And that was not my agenda. So, but that's okay, no? But that is also to putting people at ease. So this is good for rapport building as a communication motivator. So if you let them see what they, if you suppose I wasn't to intervene and say, interrupt anything to Mayank, I do not know how Mayank has taken my intervention, but I did not interrupt him in the beginning. I only gave him as a feedback later on that this is what all happened, because we are using Mayank in this particular example as an instance, as a role play category, as a simulation activity for the rest of the class to learn. So the disadvantages, it will not get us the details. As a lawyer, we would want details. It will, it does not say specifically. No, when you have framed problems for the client interview, this is all your open-ended category that you can pick up any field, you can decide what information you give. But then, so some of you have sent back a feedback. I'm asking for the details, then give the specific date, give the amount, give this or that. So certainly, the clients on their own give the information which they think is important, but there is not necessarily that they will give you pointed information. There might be a rapport difficulty with certain clients who are very talkative, who are not wanting to stop at all. And there are clients who are uncomfortable. The first student, I forget the name, he was very uncomfortable, not knowing what is the expectation. Or sometimes, depending on what is your class connection between you and your client, they might feel uncomfortable telling you the details. Suppose if the client is asking, it has been, there is something very sensitive information, a taboo subject, which they're not comfortable talking about it. Certainly, they will not talk about it. So, if they're uncomfortable talking about whatever are considered as a taboo subject, certainly all those details will not come with the open-ended questions. There might be clients who are rambling onto just lots of things, etc. And there might be irrelevant matters also because too much freedom is there. So certainly there are advantages and there are disadvantages. And depending on the circumstance, depending on the client, depending on your time, we might want to use it occasionally. And then if we find that it is kind of going sideways, we might want to get to the close-ended questions, where we are seeking specific information about specific topic. So first open-ended question, have you been reading anything during the lockdown? Yeah, I've been reading books. So then what kind of books? Specific information, specific. Then you can go further. Okay, did you find, you mentioned X book. I said, okay, what did you find? How many characters were there in X book? Which character did you like most? Which was a shady character? Which was a positive character? These are all close-ended, specific information, specific. Now we are now getting into the details of the book. So these are excellent for rapport for initially reluctant speakers. So usually we say, okay, what's your name? What is the nature of the question? What is the nature of the question? What is your name?
Close-ended.
This is forced you to speak. And it may, there's students who don't want to speak at all. If I point them out, such and such person, do you want to speak? Then they speak. If I say, okay, anybody who wants to speak, there are 5, 6 of you who will speak all the time. Then, but if I want to bring out the shy ones, I have to name them. So then, no, I look at your name, that's okay, now you speak. So that's where close-ended questions may be. So when I'm saying, yesterday I forget now the names, but suppose that Kirti, do you want to speak? Close-ended, I'm forcing this person to speak. Okay. Allow navigation past threatening areas surfacing before rapport building. Because if you keep probing gently about certain things, then the person may feel that may find sufficient confidence to talk about things which might be threatening. Eliciting details, certainly. Generating recall. What time was it? Who all were present? So you might say that, no, I was beaten up. So when were you beaten up? Who else was in your house? Whether you had an argument before he beat you up. So these are all focusing on details and helping the person to get the details out. In some cases, the early use may inhibit information. If they say, okay, when you go to a doctor, batao kya problem hai? So before you have told your whole detail of your illness, the doctor makes a conclusion and tells you, or maybe ask a specific question without listening. You feel very uncomfortable. This might feel, this might create a feeling that the person has already made up his mind without listening to us. Leave the client feeling not heard or allowed to speak or express. And certainly it does not allow for catharsis if it is used too early. And lawyers cannot show empathy when they ask, because the moment they get into the nitty-gritties of the details, the client has moved from reflecting to recalling. And it might be that the client is still not ready to give this threatening information. So it's always a question of judgment, that is the client now ready to give me sensitive area of information. Then the leading question, or what we said was guided questions, they completely close the inquiry. Yes.
Ma'am, can we say that most of the time the close-ended questions are interrogative in nature?
Not necessarily.
But I think most of the time it inquires only.
No, but interrogation is a very hard and very legal criminal law terminology. So when you ask a student, what is your name? You're not interrogating him in that sense. We understand the word interrogation.
Okay. Thank you.
So in the leading category, the guided category questions completely go the inquiry, as clients are expected to agree or disagree with the suggestion. So the advantages are that it is useful when eliciting known information which may not be forthcoming due to ego or case threat. So this person who is having an affair with another woman, wanting a divorce and saying he wants a divorce because he's just fallen out of love with this woman, without wanting to disclose that there is another one she is going around, because you might feel that you might form a negative opinion about him. So then you say, are you in relationship with somebody else? You might say yes, you might say no. but he may not be willing to on his own talk about it. Or he might say that no, okay, so, no, suppose there is a charge on him for doing something illegal, and at that point of time he was at a brothel with a prostitute, and he doesn't want to give that information. No, I was not on the scene, but he's not wanting to say where he was. So he was with his wife's best friend. He was with somebody. So certainly he wants to hold back some information because he thinks that is going to be affecting his self prestige, or it might be a threat to the case itself. So yes, my husband has been beating me up, but I do not want to say that I'm also having an affair with another man, and that is why he beats me up. Because with this, I believe that domestic violence will become a weak case if there is if I say that, oh, I've been having an affair and that's why he's been beating. So you have to be, and these are the areas which cautiously inclined interviewing these lawyers may need to tread. These are certainly useful in cross-examination. Primarily, what is the purpose? Putting forward case theory. So when we're saying cross-examination, we are talking about examining the witnesses of the other side, not your own witnesses. Your own witnesses tell your story, and certainly the witness on the other side tell the other side story. And by cross-examination, examining the witness on the other side, you want to find loopholes in their story and put forward your story. Both the things have to be done. So either this witness is not reliable, or this witness is bringing out certain information which is actually favorable to me. Disadvantages: there might be distortion and inaccurate answer. Have you come across a person on the road who asks, sir, आपको मंदिर का रास्ता पता है यहाँ से? बोले हाँ हाँ, वहाँ जाओ, वहाँ जाओ, वहाँ जाओ. So they will give you, they might give you information. This is not a leading question, but we get information. The person doesn't want to say मुझे नहीं मालूम, so he'll give you some direction. And then, especially this person is who does not know and doesn't want to say no, कि यहाँ से अब right जाना है मंदिर के लिए, बोलेगा हाँ हाँ right जाना है. So you are putting an idea to say yes to whatever it is. So it might sometimes in the conversations also that suppose the husband has beaten up the wife only twice and not very badly. The lawyer says, oh, तुम्हें वो बहुत बुरी तरह से मारता है? हाँ हाँ बहुत बुरी तरह से मारता है, बहुत अक्सर मारता रहता है, हाँ अक्सर मारता रहता है. Because you think that this is what you are expecting. So it is not necessary all the time. And in conversation, I'm saying that when you put the leading question, it might lead to certain distortions or inaccurate answers. And it also means that, no, not in cross-examination, but in the conversations, it means that we believe that the client will not be in a position to give a suitable answer. Therefore, we are supplying the answer itself. So we certainly need to keep track of this information. I need to stop presenting. Stop. So with that background, we have few more minutes. Anybody who would, let me just check what is our agenda. Okay, so we want to do the building the details. So we'll put another person on the hot seat, and you can tell the person who volunteers to be on the hot seat can volunteer the area in which you want to have a conversation with us. What is it that you want to talk about? So there are lots of techniques, what we call as piggybacking, we call siphoning, through close-ended questions. So when you say piggybacking, some information is given, you keep on building more details around it. Or a broad category has been given and you are siphoning off to a smaller category. So who is volunteering to be on the hot seat? So this is an open-ended question. People are not responding. So people are not responding to the open-ended question. Prabhat has responded?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you will be on the hot seat.
Okay, ma'am.
What is the subject you want us to talk to you about?
Anything, ma'am.
And you identify.
Gender justice.
जेंडर जस्टिस तो आप क्या अच्छा चलो भी जेंडर जस्टिस में so what do you want to talk about in gender justice?
I would like to talk about the things. Ma'am, case, ma'am,
But your voice is gone.
hello.
Yeah, now we can hear. Lost again.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Sorry, ma'am, the internet is struggling. All right.
हाँ चलो चलो ये हमारी सभी common problem है. Had no light actually for the last 1 hour, but just as the 2 o'clock, the light came back. Now,
So,
बताओ.
do I have to talk about a subject or do I have, because I exited a little while ago. So I don't know.
No. I said that anybody can volunteer to be on the hot seat and can choose any area of conversation with us.
Okay, ma'am. So let's choose movies, ma'am. I've been
Movies, okay.
watching. I've been watching a lot of movies in this lockdown period, and I have certainly developed a taste for the slow pacing movies. And
Okay.
thanks to a friend of mine, I've came across some Russian directors who are very like directed it thoroughly and elicits the describes the philosophy of life through the movies. One such movie I saw was The Stalker, directed by Andrei Tarkovsky, and it was a brilliant movie about it. It is a science fiction which depicts philosophy of life in some senses, and it develops very slowly. And I like initially it was boring for half an hour, but soon I got the hang of it, and it becomes easy to understand that what is happening around. A shot which I liked the most was there was a drain scene. The camera moves throughout the drain, looking at the all the things which have been there, watches, and there were tanks destroyed, and that scene was very effective scene. And then we suddenly shift to a more pacing movement. So I really like the way they are directing it. So I have grown to like the slow pacing movies more than the masala movies.
Anybody now, he has given us a broad picture of the movies and one movie specifically. Anyone who wants to elicit more details about any aspects of what he has talked about?
So, Prabhat, what was your takeaway from the movie?
The takeaway was the cycle of life, how it circles around and it ends up being in death. The stalker was there was three people: the professor, the doctor, and the stalker. The stalker is the person who takes you to the zone where something happened in the past, where things have circled around and creates a space and time continuum difference, where you can go and wish for it something and it will come true. And in the end, we see him dying. So maybe he wished for his death.
Did you tell us the name of the movie?
The stalker.
The Stalker.
Yeah.
What are the other movies you saw?
The other movies I saw, one was The Portrait of a Lady on Fire. It was a very nice movie, and it was about a painter who tries to paint a fellow person, and it was about basically their relation. It was a homosexual relation that they were showing in that movie, and it was a very beautiful movie.
Returning to Stalker,
Yes, ma'am.
who was the main character?
The main character, actually, there were three characters: the stalker, the doctor, and the uh, teacher. The stalker was the main lead, as we can say, because he's the person who takes them inside the zone and then brings them out. He knows the zone.
So what is a zone?
The zone is a place which has been developed due to past some sort of alien inquisition or something happened there which created a disruption in space and time continuum. So it created a place where their energies are so much depth, or we can say gravity, is so much distorted that if we go there and our wishes come true, what we wish for comes true. So the scientist, the doctor, wants to destroy that place so that no one can come in there and wish for something which is extremely destructive. But the stalker wants to preserve that.
So is this a zone created in the past or in the future?
From our timeline, it's in the future. From there, it's in the past.
Okay. When you look at the question, what was the question I just asked? Was this zone created in the past or future?
Yeah.
What is the nature of this question?
The question is a leading question.
Leading question. Other questions, what we have asked so far?
Some were open and some were closed.
What was the open-ended question?
What did I do was an open-ended question. What do I want to talk about is an open-ended question.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's what,
what,
when we do the conversation, so because I'm curious about something, I'm asking you a specific question, giving the answer. Was it in the past, was it in the future? So it was kind of, for people in the movie, it was past, but for people who are watching it, it is in the future. Do you want to go find out any more thing about the stalker? Anybody else? Please ask a question. Anukriti, any more questions?
Yeah, so Prabhat, what usually happens is you are in a particular, you have been watching a particular genre of a movie, you get a hang of it, and then you are addicted to that particular zone. So, do you feel that you are in that zone where you will end up watching these kind of movies, like you mentioned?
yeah, I've
So
watched
this is
I've
again,
watched
this is
almost
a
every
guiding question. It's a leading
movie.
question.
Yeah, ma'am.
More questions. Anybody else can ask? Hemant? Mayank, Karan? I can see only these faces. I can see Prithviraj.
Hello, Prabhat.
Hello, Girish.
Hi. How it come in your mind to watch this movie only?
A friend suggested me.
Okay.
Again, close-ended question. Very specific answer. Good.
Hi, Prabhat.
Yes, Mank.
Did you find any resemblance of this movie with any of the movie which you watched earlier? Like the storyline,
No,
did
the
you find
storyline was very different, but I can say that the space-time continuum has been used in several other movies. And the thing which I like the most about space-time continuum is the movie is Interstellar. It's a great movie.
Hi, Prabhat.
Hello, Rachit.
Yes. If you've given a chance to play any role in the movie, which character would you like to play?
Very interesting question.
I would like to play, of course, the stalker.
And could you give me a reason for that?
There was a dilemma in his character. He knew that Zone is capable of doing destructive things, but he wanted to preserve it because he thought it's some godly thing. So there was a dilemma in his character throughout the movie, and the climax, of course, was the thing which shook me. So I want
Hi,
to play that
Prabhat.
character if I can. Hi, Jyoti.
Yeah. So you told us that you started watching the slow-paced movie recently. So what was the genre you were watching before that?
I was watching every kind of movies. I'm a movie buff.
Okay.
Okay, something very important before we end our class today. I think we had, I think, little more clearer and a little clearer understanding of the questions. I'm going to paste the attendance which the system has got. And we have realized that everybody hasn't been caught. So in the system, it is showing 67 people present. In my attendance, it is showing me 60. So certainly there are 7 people who haven't been uh, picked up by the system. So I'm going to paste that list, and you tell me if your name is not there. Just write down if your name is not there. check whether your name is there or not.
Mine is not there.
Write down. मुझे order थोड़ी को पता है.
Ma'am, mine is not there, ma'am.
तो बहुत सारे लोगों के नाम नहीं आ रहे, मगर तो 60 तो मुझे दिखा रहा है.
My name is not there.
Ma'am, it is a list of alphabet up to P. After that, nobody is visible. No name is there.
नहीं, मेरे इसमें रुको फिर से करते हैं, क्योंकि इसमें तो मेरे पास ZX वाले लोगों के नाम भी हैं. Let me try this again. पुराने को भूल जाओ, फिर से फ्रेश लिस्ट देखो. तो मगर फिर से शायद नैन तक दिखा रहा है मुझे. कहाँ तक है पहले मुझे बताओ.
मैम P तक है.
नेहा प्रकाशन.
नेहा प्रकाशन.
Let me put after P, या तो इनका कुछ लिमिटेशन होगी कितने वर्ड आप चैट में डाल सकते हो.
मैम प्लीज पुट
P
आफ्टर
के
N.
बाद के मैं देखती हूँ, P के बाद के देखती हूँ.
मैम P इंक्लूड नहीं है इसमें.
यानी मैं साहिल विदुरी से करती हूँ कॉपी. अभी तक के सबके लोगों के नाम हैं.
No, ma'am.
It is still end.
N से मैम.
एन से एस तक कर देती हूँ. देखती हूँ. लोकेश का नाम है.
यस मैम, लोकेश है.
लोकेश तक का मैं देख रही हूँ.
मैम माय नेम इज आल्सो नॉट देयर.
अब देखो इस लिस्ट में आ गया.
Yes, ma'am. है मैम.
तो अब इन तीनों चारों जो ग्रुप्स में दिखाए, आप किसका नाम नहीं आया.
मैम मेरा नाम नहीं है.
मनन अग्रवाल नहीं है. मनन नहीं है. और कौन नहीं है.
ईश्वर सिंह मैम. ईश्वर सिंह मैम.
ईश्वर सिंह. फिर लास्ट में लिख दो. दो तीन नाम, 5-6 नाम होने चाहिए जो नहीं है. बाकी तो सबके आगे.
Ma'am, my name is also not present at the list.
You are in my class?
Yes, ma'am.
नहीं, right now तो हो, वैसे हो.
Yes, ma'am. I'm in my class. I'm in section 2.
लिख दो जो लोगों के नाम अभी ये पूरे तीनों ग्रुप्स के में दिखा दिए, वो उसके बावजूद भी नहीं है, वो लिखो. Let me try one more time to take attendance whether it will pick up. Now तो अभी वैसे ही नहीं, 51 बचे हैं, कुछ लोग तो चले गए. तो अभी जो नहीं है वो लिख दो नाम अपने अपने. So I got अरुण, मनन, नंदिनी, ईश्वर, आलोक, गौतम. आपका नहीं है तो नाम लिखो. जिसका नहीं है, हाँ, जिसका नहीं है मैं लिखो उसमें मुझे. स्टॉप रिकॉर्डिंग इन एनी केस. बाकी करते रहते हैं.